Good morning. It is Friday, June 30th. It is 7 a.m. New York time, and we are back. 10K to $2 million funding challenge. We are here taking a $10 million, started with a $10,000, not a $10 million. I wish. A $10,000 phase one challenge with bespoke funding. Passed it, passed phase two, got funded, traded, got a refund, bought another 10K. We have been copying our 10K funded account onto our 10K phase one challenge. We passed that. We took the 8% payout from that, and we bought a 100K challenge, phase one. So now we have our 10K funded account that we're copying trades onto our phase two 10K challenge and our phase one 100K challenge. And so we have been pretty quiet all week until yesterday. Found a couple setups. We're going to talk through those here this morning. Ended up taking a loss yesterday, and yeah, I guess it's just par for the course here at Venator Trading, because every single time we have started a challenge, a funded account, a new phase, every single time we have started with a loss. I don't know why. That's just the way it's been. And so we've gone down into drawdown from the beginning on every single step of the way, which is, I guess, good for the stream because, drawdown is where most people live when they're struggling to become profitable. And so just rehashing how to get out of that, I guess, all along the process here could be helpful for you guys. So no one likes to be in drawdown. It doesn't feel good. It has a tendency to amplify the emotions that you're already feeling, the pain, the fear, the anxiety, all of that. So, modeling and showing that for you and having a chance to do that on every single step of the process as we go through these challenges, then hopefully you're learning something from that. But good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. I am out portable again today, up in kind of central part of Texas, away from Houston. I'm volunteering at my church's junior high summer camp. And we've got about 400 junior hires running around crazy up here all week. We'll be here all day until Sunday. We'll be here. And then we head back to reality, to home. So today's a big day. We are finishing the last week of June. So it's the last day of the week. It's the last week of the month. It's also the last day of the quarter, and it's the last day of the first half of the year. So there's all kinds of lasts happening today. Historically, it's just, as far as days go, it's just another day for the market. But last days of the month, last day of the quarters typically do, there's some profit taking. There's some things that are going on at a higher institutional level that you just got to be aware of. You're still going to trade your setup. If your setup shows up, you're still going to take a shot. And that's just how we do it here. But I hope you're having a good day wherever you're at. If you're in the States, good morning. If you're over in UK and Europe, good afternoon. Hope you're having a good lunch and a good evening to all of our Asia watchers. And I guess I should say Africa. I'm not sure where Africa is. We've got quite a few, a strong African contingent on Twitter and in our live stream. So I'm not sure what, I guess it's time-wise closer to Europe, I would imagine, at least parts of it. But wherever you're at, I do hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you've been in here watching the stream. I hope you've been learning. And It's just good to be able to. I woke up this morning just feeling especially grateful for all of you that come in here and watch. And so, and the people that I've been getting to talk in my DMs, you guys have been dropping in over there, asking some great questions. And so I'm grateful for you guys, man. We're building a little tribe here. I appreciate the friendships and the relationships that are growing. Every day we're in here and we're talking and we're chatting. And so I am super grateful. If this is all this ever becomes, is just the 20 or 30 people that watch on YouTube every day, and the I don't know, I've got about 50 people in my DMs right now that are just talking, and a lot of them are you guys here on the chat as well. So I'm just grateful for you guys, and I want you to know that. So good morning. We'll jump over here to the chat. I don't have all my monitors set up here. I'm in this big auditorium room. It probably sounds kind of boomy and echoey. Not much I can do about that. And again, I don't know exactly how long I'm going to be able to stay on the stream today. Once people kind of start coming into this room, I'm going to have to clear out of here. This is the only place that I can get a pretty decent internet connection. I know that they're doing some kind of 5K run this morning right outside of this room, so I don't know if people are going to come in here earlier than they did yesterday, but just be prepared. If I have to shut stuff down pretty quick, it may happen, but hopefully we can stay on for at least an hour or so. We'll see. But good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Brooks, John Jones, David, Metro Yo, Adrian, Redhead Alex, Michael, all of you guys, Maverick, good morning. Hello. Good morning, team. John says, what church? I am probably not going to give that information out just yet. It just, my wife, when we started the stream, was like, hey, let's try to keep, do what you need to do, but let's try not to just give all of our personal information out about our lives. And where we go, where we eat, where we worship, all that kind of stuff. Happy to, if you want to DM me later, we can have a conversation about some of that stuff privately. But here on YouTube, I'm probably not going to disclose a lot of those more personal details about our lives. So if it has to do with trading, happy to talk about it as much as we can. Encourage you guys, help you guys, teach you guys. But specifically about where we live, yeah, probably not going to give, at least not right now. I mean, maybe later, but I'm just trying to be respectful of how she feels about some of this. Afternoon in Africa. Okay, cool. Good to know. I will remember that. Alex says, took a trade on GU and got wrecked. Should have took the same trade on EU, would have smashed profits. Well, I mean, Alex, as long as it fits your trading model and fits your setup, and you did not break your rules by taking that trade, it's a successful trade, whether you got wrecked or not, man. Hopefully you had good risk management and you followed your rules and it didn't blow your account because of one trade. So, we took a loss yesterday. And let me just say this, taking a loss, it sucks. It stings. I don't care how profitable you are. No one wants to lose. Losing hurts. It sucks. And if you hear people say, oh, I don't feel anything when I take a loss, I have no emotion, that's bull. What they're saying and what they mean is they feel it, but they ignore it. They've learned to become kind of desensitized to the emotion that comes from taking a loss. They feel it. You can't not feel it because emotions are controlled subconsciously. And they're just reactions that you have no control over. Now, you can work on building maturity in how you respond to emotions to where that when you feel it, it doesn't dictate your next response and it doesn't send you into a spiral. You don't give into your emotions, but you feel it. And I didn't take that loss yesterday and then be like, do a happy dance because I took a loss. It wasn't fun. I don't want to take a loss. I never want to take a loss. I don't enter trades hoping that I lose. I do enter trades accepting the loss as soon as I place my order. I've accepted that loss. And if it, like yesterday, we took the loss and it's just like, well, okay. I know that about 50% of the time that's going to happen. I also know the other 50% of the time I'm going to win. And when I win twice as much as when I lose. And that's the power of risk management and getting out of drawdown. So we'll take a look here, Alex, at GU and EU and see what you saw. Michael, good morning. Peter, good morning, watching from Kenya. Grateful for you, Peter. Here we are lucky as the Asian starts at 3 a.m., middle of the night. London, mid-morning, and New York at 3 p.m. Oh my gosh. That's why there's so many traders in Africa. You guys can literally get the best of all the sessions in the middle of your day. That is fantastic. Man, I need to consider a move to Africa. I'm actually supposed to be going on a mission trip to Mozambique sometime in the next few months. All the dates haven't been set yet, but I may be over there in a couple months. Michael, I took G this morning too, hit my stop to the pip and pumped. We're gonna have to see what's going on with EU and GU. Michael, that's probably smart keeping it private. Well, I just, I mean, one of the main reasons is I don't know how long I want to do this. This specific challenge, 10K to 2 million. When this is done, I may be done, and I don't necessarily have plans to stick around and keep streaming. Once we hit 2 million, that may just be my contribution to the trading community and my contribution to YouTube, and delete the Twitter and just go back to doing what I was doing before anyone knew I existed. So in light of that, she was just like, hey, let's just not share everything. Let's share as much as you can, but don't share everything. Redhead, I win a bonus account, $50. Cool. I don't know what that means, but good for you, bro. Alex, good. All within your risk parameters. Good to hear. That's what I want to hear, man. And yeah, Mr. Brooks, it hurts a lot. Losing sucks, but you've got to be okay with it. You've got to get comfortable with it. It's just part of trading. Like, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there in this business. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. So, hey, Beeswax, glad you're in here, man. All right. So because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay on today, I'm going to jump right in and we're going to start kind of looking. You can see I'm here on the monthly time frame, the last day of the month. You can kind of see what we've done here on the euro dollar. We've opened, we put in a low, we've put in a high, and now we're pulling back. It does look like we're going to at least end bullish. It would have to tank pretty hard here on the last day of the month to close bearish. So it looks like we're going to have a bullish close to the euro. Hey, Deadpool, welcome in. Drop down here to the weekly, and we can see price has respected this weekly fair value gap. We've put in a swing low. It looks like we're about to put in a swing high. You know, that just means we're consolidating. Here's our dealing range, this weekly large dealing range. We came down, bounced off some daily volume imbalances and fair value gaps, came up, bouncing off of a weekly fair value gap, and we're just ranging. If we fail to make a high, we put in a swing low and a swing high inside of a dealing range. That's a sign of consolidation. Here we go down to our daily time frame. You can see we took out yesterday's low, we took out last Friday's low this morning, and we've rallied higher. Euro did have some news earlier. Their unemployment rate came in as expected, unchanged, and their inflation dropped just a small amount of a percentage point there. But they do, Euro does, and pound has looked to be a little more bullish. You can see traded through overnight through the Asian session, and then it's dropped. So here's your midnight opening price. Always kind of like to be aware of that. I don't talk about that a lot on the stream, but I always just kind of have it in my head where the midnight opening price is. That's the true day opening for the New York. I just kind of look at that as my true day opening. So you've seen we've dropped down here and we've taken out the sell side liquidity. We have relative equal highs up here. It would be interesting to see if we try to run those out today, or if we just stay weak here and remain bearish like we have this week. All right. Sorry, I'm hearing some people walk around outside getting ready for that 5K. So I'm just trying to be respectful. If people do start coming in here, I don't want to be getting in their way if they need this space for anything. So again, I'm not sure how long we'll be able to stay on, but we'll stay on as long as we can. Just as a reminder, if we have to leave quickly, I would appreciate it if you guys hit that like button and share with your friends, share with any of your little trading followers or buddies that you have here. All right, let's jump down to EU here and see what we see. You can see here as we come into London, we had a small little pop up. Took out some buy-side liquidity, aggressive move away, leaving behind a fair value gap inside of this last candle right here would be your breaker candle. It runs up, it drops down aggressively, leaves behind a fair value gap, and this is the move that you guys were probably talking about wanting to take, is this fair value gap entry off of this breaker. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure. This is what I see here from our London session. That's the move I would be looking for. Your last down close candle, it runs out liquidity, aggressive move away, fair value gap left behind. You set your order, you get triggered in, you take your 1 to 2, and your day is done. That's kind of how I see that setup working from the London move. On pound, let's see what we see here on the pound. Very wicky. Did drop down. Here it took out buy side and then aggressively moved away, and then you have your fair value gap. So if you were bearish on pound, then you probably would have tried to get in here. Where did this move start? It started here. This probably would have said you would have gotten in there, and your stop loss would have gotten if you were short on pound. Now, if you're long on pound and you're bullish, then you were expecting price to get run here, which it did, and then it moved aggressively away. This would have been your breaker, and there's your fair value gap. This may have been where you got wrecked, Alex. it would have been something like that. I would have had my stop. So I always put my stop below the candle that forms the fair value gap. It takes 3 candles to form a fair value gap. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 candles form the fair value gap. So you put your stop below the candle that forms the fair value gap, and you would be targeting 1 to 2. If you did that, you would probably still be in this trade, if indeed that's the trade that you took. I got stopped out on that pump. Yeah, that's what I figured. You're probably going short here after this run up, aggressive move down. But what you can see here is you've run liquidity. And yeah, I'm trying to see if there's an opportunity here for another entry. You did run liquidity here. You took out the low here, and then you have moved up. This move started up here on this candle. This big up candle initiated that quick run down, took out sell side liquidity, and then we've run up. Let's see on the 10-minute if something looks cleaner. No. Not seeing much here. Potentially right here. So you had a run up, you come down, you take out liquidity, you take out this old low here, you aggressively move away. There is a nice little fair value gap right here. And this would be your breakers. These 3 candles together, starting with the wick of that one. Have a little breaker here. It did run liquidity and pop up. So you could potentially identify this as a potential entry here. You would need to pound dollar, something like that. Midnight opening price is here. It's not a trade that I really want to call here. It just doesn't line up on the 15-minute very well, but we'll see. We'll watch that area and just see how it works out. That's just a very quick and dirty. Excuse me. Sigh. How you lost 2%. That's how much I risk per trade. So I take 1 trade a day. I allow myself to take 1 trade a day if the setup is there, and I risk 2%. I do not recommend that you risk 2% if you don't know your data, if you don't know your strategy, if you don't know your statistics and your probabilities, what your win rate is, what your maximum losing streak is over the last 100 trades, bare minimum. If you don't have that data, you should not be risking 2%. I have all that data. I know how I trade. I know what my system does. I know what my max losing streak is. And so that's why I can take a 2% risk per trade. If you don't have that information, you should not be risking. You should be risking max 1%, probably maybe 0.75% or 0.5% until you have that data. Alex, mine was a short. Yeah, I put it below the 15-minute fair value gap. Recommend a website for lot size calculation on funded accounts. Yeah. If you just go to lot size calculator, go to MyFXBook, position size calculator. Put in your currency pair, your account size, how much you want to risk, swap with money or risk. So I would use money, so I'm going to risk $200. You put in your stop loss, let's say 8 pips, calculate, it shows you exactly what your lot size should be. And it has every currency pair in here. So myfxbook.com, Forex calculators, position size. Metro, maybe you can grab that link and put it in the chat for everyone. But that's the lot size. I use this calculator, like I'll use it today. If we get into if I see a setup I want to take today, I used this yesterday on my phone. I just pulled up this exact calculator yesterday, and it's how I calculated my position size. I only have to do it for my master account. Once I've done it there, it copies it over on Social Trader Tools. Social Trader Tools copies all of my trades and does all of the lot calculations there within Social Trader Tools. So that's the lot size calculator I would use. Trying to see here on Euro Dollar. What we see here. Jack, good morning. Took a loss on G. Man, it seems like everybody took a loss on GU today. Everybody was it short, Jack? Were you trying to go short? And you got hit on that pump up? We just talked about that. Yeah. You and everybody else ran liquidity. This fair value gap inside that breaker. That's where it got you. Yeah, I mean, you guys followed the plan. It just is one of those days. It was very whippy action. So you may get another opportunity to go short here. I don't know. There is some news coming out this morning. You've got personal spending coming out, personal income, and you've got core price index at 8:30. So you guys know what that means for me. No trades until after 8:30 for me today. So, and what that really means is no trades probably till like 9 o'clock, because once 8:30 hits, you're going to get one 15-minute candle. And you're going to need at least one more 15-minute candle probably to produce a setup of some kind. So there's not going to be a whole lot to do here this morning. I'll sit here and look, though, with you because until 8:30 rolls around, another hour here, and I don't know that I don't know that I'm going to be able to stick on here for another hour today. We'll wait and see. What's my internet speed now? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Pretty good. I mean, it's decent enough to on the download side. For streaming, it's really more about upload. So yeah, getting like 18 to 20 up, which is pretty good for being able to do a stream. That's about the bare minimum you need to do a HD stream there. So any less on this upload side, and it would probably be pretty laggy. Get back over here real quick, y'all. Hold on. Need to look at something. All right. Michael, I was curious about something. Y'all have a holiday July 4th, right? But it's a Tuesday, so do you take Monday off too, or just Tuesday? I'll be on the charts Monday with you guys. Tuesday, I'm probably not going to stream on Tuesday next week. It's a national holiday. July 4th is Independence Day for the U.S. When we threw off those chains from the great evil empire. It's really just more like two brothers fighting over money. I think really what the whole Revolutionary War was about. So that's really what it more feels like was, hey, you're not going to be the boss of me anymore, and you're not going to take my money. We're going to keep it, thanks. Y'all stay on your side of the ocean. We'll stay on ours. So yeah, I'll stream Monday. I'm not anticipating, I don't know. I would anticipate next week probably. It's the first week of July. You've got a big bank holiday. You've got some red folder news at the end of the week. I don't know. I would, yeah. You're only going to have probably a couple of good trade setups happen next week, and they will be after Tuesday likely. So, thoughts on Raja Banks? I don't know. I mean, he's a good marketer. He knows how to push people's buttons. He knows how to build a following. I don't know anything about how he trades. I've watched his live stream a few times. I mean, he's an interesting cat. He's an interesting cat for sure. I'm not here to really bash anybody or talk about how they do stuff. Everybody's got their own way of doing stuff. They've got their own way of making money. And I really know nothing about his trading style, so I don't know. John, because they were taxing us at 2%. Boy, if we slipped, I know. It's time for another Revolutionary War, huh, John? If we were ready to go to war over 2% taxation, my. What you looking for?
Water bottle and some lanyards.
I have not seen.
Or is that not?
Yeah, it would be on that back table, I think.
Oh, I don't see it.
And if it's not there, then it probably hasn't been found.
Oh, okay. Like, really? Your water bottle?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a blue Stanley with a handle, she said.
I'll look for it.
Thank you.
All right. That's what it's talking about. Just all kinds of people can randomly pop in here at 6:30 in the morning. It's 6:30 in the morning here, our time. American slogan, ain't nobody gonna tell us what to do. Yeah, except we do let everybody tell us what to do. When the lion roars, the eagle soars. I like it, Jack. Happy-eyed, brother. Yeah, it's a big holiday for the Muslim community. So I know we've got some of you guys in here, and I'm grateful that you're here. I really am. And I hope that as you celebrate your holiday, that I hope it's good for you and your families. I really do. What about Turtle Soup Buzz? Yeah, it's the shiny new trading scheme set up. So I don't really have much to say about Turtle Soup. It's just accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and so they're just trying to capitalize on getting in on the manipulation side of things. They're entering at manipulation. So you have, if you think about this, they're looking at this area right here, and if they're short bias, they're just going to they're going to sell as soon as they get a pop up from this accumulation area. They're just going to sell it, expecting distribution to the downside. So that's all Turtle Soup is. It's just trying to anticipate where are the stops, where does price want to go. If they're short, they're going to try and get in here. It's an aggressive entry because it could just break out and take you out pretty aggressively, keep moving up. But they're, I mean, it's a valid trade setup. I'm not saying it's not. It's just that's Turtle Soup. There's so many new things out there, y'all, that people talk about and try to throw out that they want to trade. Did I go? I haven't gone over the trade yet yesterday, no. We can pull that up. So here's the trade from yesterday. We were anticipating a weaker gold here, obviously. We were short. We were waiting for a run on liquidity, which we got. Once we got that run on liquidity, we had displacement away. Now, this push is probably a little bit more aggressive than I really wanted to see. That's the only thing. As I look back on this trade from yesterday, this is the only thing that I could reflect on that said, that's too far too fast kind of an idea. I don't really have a set rule for what that even means. And so maybe I need to work on that a little bit. I don't know. But when I go back and look overall, when you get a big, massive candle like this, it's kind of a too far, too fast kind of massive, quick move. And a lot of times you can get that and you get that V shape real quick as it just pulls back. A lot of times it also works out. You get that displacement, you get a fair value gap. You just see how big this fair value gap is. You do have the breaker area right in front of that, but the only other thing I could have thought of also on this trade was it didn't grab enough liquidity. Like these relative equal highs are here would have been a more clear run on liquidity. This is just a small little dip up, but it fits my trading plan. That's why I was like, this is fine for me. Absolutely fine for me. It doesn't bother me. Going back over it, it ran liquidity. We identified it a quick move up into buy side. We had a quick displacement away. We had a fair value gap. It's just a massively large fair value gap. We used the portion of the fair value gap inside the breaker, and it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So that's the trade. The reason we had a very similar setup on pound right here, and we had a very similar setup on euro. Where did it go? Oh, right here. Same setup on euro. And I was watching all three pairs. I noted all three pairs before we got off the stream yesterday. I've noted all the breaker blocks, and I was like, I'm going to watch each of these setups, euro, pound, and gold. The reason I didn't take the euro or the pound was it moved so far so fast it took out the sell side liquidity. And so if for my strategy, if the displacement takes out the sell side target or the opposite side target, I won't enter a trade. And so both EU and GU both took out their sell side targets. I would have preferred displacement away through this area, leaving this sell side that could have given us an entry to then target that sell side. Same on pound. It ran so far so fast, it took out all of the sell side delivery. And it never gave you an entry before that. So that's why I did not put EU or GU. Gold did not have a clear sell side objective unless you get all the way back over here on this swing low. That would be the next sell side objective for gold. And so I was like, well, it could still drop pretty far. And so that's why I took the gold trade, and it ended up not working out. Good morning, Sam. Could gold be doing the opposite of what we wanted yesterday? The move down could have grabbed liquidity. I mean, yeah, it could. It could. We'll have to wait and see. Gold has not been nice to me. This was also, again, similar setup on US 30 here. Same setup. You had a push down, but once it took out this was not a trade. This was just me. As I was looking at all four pairs yesterday, once it takes out that sell side, there's no trade set up here, and you can see US 30 did something very similar. So they all had very, very similar setups yesterday. Let me just get to a message just popping up here real quick. Hold on. All right, let's get back in here and see what we see. Dollar. Our weekly objective for the dollar has been met. We were anticipating this fair value gap as a draw on liquidity for the dollar this week, and so we've hit it. We identified that on Monday, and we were like, hey, we would think the dollar, if the dollar wants to be bearish from here, it would come up, tap into this fair value gap, and then fall away. It has plowed right through it. There has been really no pullback after hitting it. We'll see how today closes out, but you can see we reached up into it, and then we just plowed right through it yesterday. We've since come back down, tapped into it overnight, pulled back higher. It's to be seen yet exactly how this candle is going to close out. If it's going to respect this on the weekly time frame, we would need to close bearish on the dollar today. You can see overall on the monthly time frame, we just ran right into here and have rejected. So, and we're in the middle of all this consolidation. We've gone from this massive run up, pullback, right into this fair value gap, and it's holding as support. So we could see a stronger dollar here. And with the Fed saying all week that more interest rate hikes are probably coming and that inflation is not coming down the way they want it to, you could see a pretty strong, you could see a case for a strong dollar from this point on, at least for the next few months. So these relative equal highs up here and this large fair value gap could be getting tapped into in the next couple of months with the dollar. I was hoping, and my personal preference would have been to see the dollar come down and weaken into these relative equal lows, bite into this monthly fair value gap a little bit to grab liquidity that then runs higher up into this fair value gap. All right, got about 15 more minutes here until this hour closes out. And again, I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to stay on, guys. I will be watching the charts again, just like yesterday. If we get a setup here, I will definitely call it out. I'm in no rush. Just because we're in drawdown, I'm not trying to quickly get it back. But if I see a good, clean setup, we'll try to take advantage of it for sure. Euro, what's Euro doing here? pumping. This was the one area, where was it? This is the one area I would be interested to see what happens with pound when we reach right down into here. So yes, that was the losing trade we took yesterday on gold. And I put all that up on Twitter too, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, I would recommend you follow me over there and turn on notifications. You can keep track of all of our trades live as they happen. Let's see here. Liquidity right here. Place higher, we're pulling back into this. Gold. I'm going to take this trade off here just so I don't. I like having when I'm reanalyzing. I don't want to have a bunch of old trades on there. I just want to be able to see fresh what I'm looking at. Somebody was asking if we think, Smitty, you were asking, do I think gold is doing the opposite of what we thought it was doing yesterday? I might think that if there was displacement away, but once we grab this liquidity, we haven't seen any displacement away. There was no clean break and no clean displacement out of this to want to move back up. All right. Who was in this EG trade yesterday? Jack, was that you? Are you still in here? Somebody was in this EG trade yesterday, and it got smacked pretty hard. It actually gave a really nice setup on the opposite side. And the run on liquidity here and then displacement away aggressively. That's a nice, here's your breaker run up, right? Look at this on EG yesterday. This down move initiated a run on all these stops. Displacement away. Fair value gap inside that breaker. Beautiful. If you targeted 50% of that fair value gap, sorry, this fair value gap right here. Really was a beautiful opportunity to get short. There's your breaker. Beautiful setup. That's EG. That was yesterday. I'm only looking at EG because we were looking at this yesterday and they were trying to go long here. They were trying to identify there was really no clear run on liquidity. This is a clear run on liquidity. Aggressive move up. Displacement away. Fair value gap. Breaker. Entry. 1 to 2. Oh, you did take that short. Nope. There's our setup, guys. This is what we're doing here every day. We're identifying where the buy side and sell side is. We're waiting for a run on liquidity, which we get right here. We get displacement and energetic move back through after liquidity is grabbed. We identify where that run on liquidity started. These two down close candles initiated that run up. They become your breaker. Once price trades through them, you identify the fair value gap inside of that breaker. You target about 50% of that or 50% of your breaker, either one. Put your stop above the candles that make the fair value gap or the breaker. Target 1 to 2. Money, money, money. Had to close early. Trade took forever to pay out. Let's see, that closed out. Yeah, it's like 12:30, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's a long trade to hold, but it did play out. So good job. Very nice, guys. You just have to be patient and wait. If your setup is there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. All right, I got about 5 more minutes here. 5 more minutes here until the hour, and then you've got another 30 minutes after that until the dollar red folder news comes out, and then we'll have to watch and wait what happens there. But as we get ready to head into the weekend, you're coming in, and like I said, you're coming into the end of the month, the end of the quarter, the end of the first half of the year. And so I would highly encourage you guys, go back, look at your journals, look at your trades, do some self-reflection and evaluation on the last 6 months. The year is half over. How has it been for you? Are you still struggling with the same things you were 3 months ago? If so, why? Has your trading improved? Has it gotten worse? What are the rules that you're consistently breaking over and over again? Why? This is just a great opportunity. We're halfway through the year. We have 6 more months to go. And now is the time to sit down this weekend and be like, okay, what are these next 6 months going to be? How are they going to be different than the first 6 months? What am I going to do these next 6 months that is going to change and have a different outcome than what I just got from these first 6 months? So just this is a great weekend just to kind of push pause on everything trading and just reflect and journal and get honest with yourself. Like, actually hold up a mirror to yourself and be like, okay, what do I see honestly? I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm just trying to see reality for what it is. What am I consistently doing wrong? What am I consistently doing right? How can I improve where I'm doing wrong? And how can I strengthen and continue to strengthen those things that I'm doing right? Good morning, Manusos. Jack, if the news comes out bearish for dollar, I see potential with EU. Yeah, me too, man. I agree. I think we could see a bullish euro and maybe even bullish pound a little bit today. You have a job before being a consistent trader. Yes. Actually still have a job. But it's because I want to, and I love what I do. But that's one of the things that I have told my wife that we won't get into a lot here on the stream. I think I said earlier on in one of the live streams when we first started, you're more than welcome to go back and check in all that. It's not that I'm just trying to be mysterious or deceitful or mislead anybody. It's just, like I said earlier in the stream, there's some things that my wife and I agreed when I started to do this. Stuff's going to come up, people are going to ask questions, and there's just things that we were like, hey, we don't have to say everything about who we are and what we're doing. Keep it to trading, keep it to passing challenges, getting funded, and getting payouts. Anything that has to do with that, I'm happy to discuss and talk about. But where we live, what we do, where we worship, all those kinds of things, we're going to just kind of keep private. So. EU reacting well to the 345 15-minute fair value gap. Yep. I mean, you're not wrong. But that does not fit. I don't just trade fair value gaps. I need to see this is just a swing high here coming down. There was really no clean breaker here for me to work off of that if I was trying to, but all right, we're closing out the 7 o'clock hour here, guys. I'll try to stay on for another maybe 15 minutes or so, and then I'm probably going to have to get out of here. John says, can you re-explain why you think the gold trade failed? I'm trying to journal it, and I'm having a problem putting my finger on a specific reason. Well, I don't know that there is a specific reason why it failed. The only reason that, again, what I had said was it's kind of a too far, too fast displacement. When displacement takes out sell side, super aggressive, like the opposite side of where it just came from, it can just immediately return around and run buy side. So there's two things here for me, John, that I see on this gold trade that I should maybe potentially be aware of in the future. And that would be the displacement after we ran this liquidity here was so aggressive and so far, so fast. Compare these candles to all of the candles previous, like massive range. Our breaker was down here. And the reason I called the trade was because even though it took out this sell side liquidity, the breaker is so close to sell side liquidity, for it to become a breaker, it would need to reach down into that, and there would be further sell side targets, which were in such a large, we still had a lot of fair value gap and volume imbalance down here that we could dig into. I was like, okay, well, it still has a healthy amount of downside, and there really was no clear further sell side target. So it was like, this thing, it still has a lot of room to run lower if it wants to. Whereas EU and GU very clearly had sell side objectives that I was hoping it wouldn't take out and it would pull back to give us an entry, but it didn't. They all gave these too far, too fast moves. The other thing that I think I could have identified was just a more significant run on buy side liquidity, even though it did take out this swing high pretty aggressively. These relative equal highs up here and these relative equal highs up here, if I had waited and I had said, hey, I want to see those highs get run, because here's your clear area of accumulation. This whole area right here is your area of accumulation, right? So to see these buy stops get run and then see displacement away, could have waited for that. And this is just getting nitpicky. This is all hindsight after you see it play out. You don't see all this and you're not necessarily thinking about everything after the fact. But once it runs this liquidity, you get a quick move up and a quick move down. That fits our trade criteria. And the only other thing is you just have this massive fair value gap. So this is just the whole too far, too fast. Does it displace too far, too fast? It's not a rule I have. It's completely subjective, and it just happened to run. And the other thing is this is pretty common for gold. Like, we've seen this in the last month with gold, where it just gives you very aggressive whip down and then a very aggressive whip back up. It happens quite a bit. Whip down, whip up, right? Look at this, whip up, whip down. So it's not uncommon for gold to have those aggressive responses. And so, my win rate with gold compared to euro, dollar, and pound dollar in the last 6 weeks, gold has not been kind. And it may just be like, hey, push pause on gold for a month. Don't take any trades on gold. Just focus on the Forex pairs. They're the ones that are moving pretty well and consistently and smoothly. And so maybe that's what I'll do. Whoa! Look who's in the stream with us, guys. We've got some bespoke royalty joining us on the live stream. Madison, Mads the Trader. What is going on? So glad you're here. We're actually out portable this week. I'm not in my office. I am volunteering here at our church camp. And so we're actually in this big, huge auditorium today out in the middle of nowhere with a spotty internet connection. So you picked a great day to come in. Also, we probably won't be on here too much longer. But Madison, so glad that you came in, and so glad you got your student here with you. So you guys show Madison some love. Yeah, bespoke royalty, man. You're like the queen of bespoke. So you guys have seen her on all of their YouTube stuff. If you don't follow Bespoke on YouTube, you can go check out all of her stuff. She's doing a fantastic job monitoring and creating all of their content for them. You should also follow her on Twitter. She's a great follow on Twitter as well. I think it's at Mads the Trader. I'm not sure if I got that right. You can put that in there, Madison, if you want. That would be awesome. So, but y'all say hi to Madison. She's awesome. We got to do an interview together earlier this week, and so she's fantastic, y'all. She really is. So show her some love. But thank you so much, Mads, for stopping in. And I hope you like it. Don't be a stranger. Stop in anytime. You're always welcome here. So we're just breaking down We took a loss yesterday on gold, and so we've just been talking about how to get out of drawdown. We've been talking about how to manage your emotions when you take a loss and everything that goes into that, kind of going back through that trade and figuring out, was there something we could have done differently? Was there something we could have maybe seen or avoided for in the future? But yeah, so good job, guys. Show her the love. She deserves it. She's working hard. All right, so here we are, euro dollar. We are getting a little bit of a pump here. The dollar showing a little bit of weakness. Dollar has grabbed buy-side liquidity here, and so if it moves aggressively back down through here, that'll be interesting. If again, this weekly fair value gap that we identified early on is really what we're looking for and waiting for here to see how, if the dollar is going to respect that as we close out this week. And if the dollar shows any kind of bearish signature here in this morning session as we get into it, then you could anticipate a pullback here, running this buy side liquidity if we get some displacement lower. Again, we're taking no trades until after the news hits at 8:30. You've got several red folder events coming out in about 22 minutes, so you're just going to be sitting here. Matt says, love that. We're dropping some mindset videos the next week or so. Awesome. Like we talked about in our interview, you know, it is it's the biggest obstacle that traders who are consistently failing challenges need to get a grip on, is their mindset. It's all about mindset. So I'm so glad Bespoke's letting you put some of that stuff out there, because it probably really is. You only need so much technical analysis, and then you only need so much knowledge about how to actually trade. The rest of it is all what's going on up here. So you gave me the fire. Cool. You already had it. We were definitely very kindred spirits with the psychology and the mindset stuff. So I think we were feeding off each other in there on that interview. So all right. So I can hear some people outside of this auditorium. I think they're probably getting ready to come in here. So I know it's a little bit of a shorter stream today, y'all. I do apologize for that. It just is kind of the situation I'm in out here when I'm out in the wild. I don't have full control over my streaming environment. So we may not be on here much longer. But John says, I feel like my technical analysis is where I'm the weakest, and there's no issue in the psychological. Madison FX dropped 50% discount. Y'all, hey, do not be begging Madison for discounts. That's not why she's here. We may do a giveaway with Bespoke at some point in the future, but y'all leave Mads alone. Just give her some love. I'm just glad she showed up. You're welcome here anytime, Mads, and any of your students as well. Pop in anytime. All right, y'all, make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. Yeah, man, bring Max in too. Kaylor as well. Y'all are all welcome in here. Come on anytime. I definitely hear a lot of noise and stuff and commotion going on outside, so I'm probably about to get invaded here in my streaming space. So listen, y'all, probably going to go ahead and call it here just so that it's not super awkward when 20 people come in here. But again, click that like button. Follow on Twitter, guys. I'll be posting stuff all day over on Twitter. If I see any setups forming, we'll be watching. Don't worry. And if we don't take a trade today, it's completely fine. It's totally cool. One trade this week, it is what it is. The market's going to be open all week next week, well, except Tuesday. And the week after that, and the week after that, we have plenty of time. Do not stress, do not stress, do not stress. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take some time to reflect. Take some time to go back over your journals. Think about the last 6 months and start thinking about and planning ahead for the next 6 months. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And again, follow on Twitter. I'll keep everything up going on over there. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Happy hunting. We'll catch y'all later.